Alright, so what's up, guys? It's Connor Gamer back for another video, and this time I'm going to be talking about the nerfs that are happening in apparently 4 days. September 18th, so they're happening in 4 days. I get this question a lot in chat. What do you think of the nerfs, Connor? And so I'll tell you what I think. So the first one up is Innervate. Innervate now reads, gain 1 mana crystal this turn only, down from 2. So basically it's a 100% nerf on Innervate. It's going down, you know, instead of gaining 2 crystals for the turn, you're going to gain 1. So it's basically like a coin in Rogue now. I think this is obviously, like, this is probably the most impactful of the nerfs. This is like the one nerf that I'm pretty happy about. the one. This is the one that makes sense to me. Like, Innervate was a card that I hated playing against. Is too powerful. No class has anything even close to it, in my opinion. Just for versatility, you can use it on spells, minions. You know, there's prep and rogue. Not even close. It's still good, but it's not close. Innervating is just insane. So I'm glad they did this nerf. This one's gonna hurt, you know, Druids the most. Let's have some preface here. Druid, I think, is the class that needs the nerf the most, and I actually think Priest is the second class that needs a nerf as well. Priest didn't get touched at all. We'll see as we go through these nerfs, but Priest didn't get touched. I think the Priest 0 power is too strong at 0. Once you get Raws out, I think that combo is too strong. Something had to be done about that. And I think Druid is obviously too powerful. I started playing Jade myself to get to rank 5 the other day, and I did it almost instantly. It was like, I started playing Druid, I got like 80% win rate. The deck is just, I can't stress to you how broken Druid is. And I was playing Jade Druid, which is just one form, Aggro Druid, and also Taunt Druid that I saw. Well, I've seen some people playing it. Taunt Druid is also too strong. Infestation being the main reason, Spreading Plague also, which we'll talk about in a second. But we can talk about that one next, actually. So let's talk about Spreading Plague. That's the other nerf here. Spreading Plague now costs 6 up from 5. Wow, huge nerf. This is, so in the past, most of Hearthstone nerfs have been, you know, huge. When they nerf a card, they normally make it unplayable. In the past, we've seen cards mostly become unplayable when they've nerfed, and this is kind of different from what Blizzard has done in the past. Most of these cards are still gonna be playable. Spreading Plague being definitely one of them. I think Ben Bro talked about Spreading Plague is actually the most powerful card in Druid based on their stats and the win percentage of, you know, having a card or whatever. So I mean, okay, let's just read what they say about Spreading Plague. Spreading Plague is a great defensive tool for Druid to protect themselves against aggressive decks, but it was too efficient at 5 mana. Raising the cost to 6 will help slow the card down slightly. While still allowing for defensive minions, Spreading Plague creates to be utilized in later stages of the game. It's 1 mana, like it's out of all the nerfs I've seen in the history of Blizzard Hearthstone nerfs, this is the smallest nerf that I've seen. It's 1 mana. It's 20% up from the previous cards. Like, I know people say nerfing a mana cost is huge, but the higher mana cost you get, the lower percent the difference is, and the lower the smaller it matters, right? Going from 8 to 9, 9 to 10, those changes matter very little. So 5 to 6, being this card as busted as it is, I think it's still insane, dude. Like, what other changes did you consider? They say we consider changing Spreading Plague to 7 mana rather than 6, since it is currently the top performing card in Jade and Taunt Druid decks. However, since we are also changing Innervate, we decided to add only 1 mana. Nah, dude, you messed up. I know that because they're changing Innervate too. This is what I think they should have done. Along with these 2 nerfs, they should have still nerfed UI. They should have still nerfed Infestation. If you're gonna nerf only Innervate to, you know, Innervate's the one that I like the most because it's gonna do some damage for sure. But only making Spreading Plague 6 doesn't change it hardly at all. Okay, they should have lowered the health on these guys or something. Like, make it cost 7. That's a better change. Costing 6, not enough. So if you're gonna only do the small Innervate nerf and the really tiny Spreading Plague nerf, you still have to change Ultimate Infestation, because those 3 together are what's busting Druid right now, right? Like, UI is the biggest culprit in my opinion. Spreading Plague is, Ben Brode's opinion, the biggest. Which, okay, so they barely touched Spreading Plague. They still have to. I still think they should have nerfed UI to some extent. Either take it down to 4 instead of 5 for everything, or make it choose 2. Those are my 2 suggestions. If you make it choose 2, it becomes much weaker, and taking it down to 4 helps it, weaken it a little bit. So, I mean, I don't like what they did to Druid. I think they should have done more. I don't think it's enough. I still think Druid's going to be broken just because of the mechanics it has, Jade being just insane. So, I don't know. The Innervate will hurt aggro, which is good. Spreading Plague wasn't even played in aggro, so aggro will definitely be weakened by the Innervate nerf. But Jade Druid is just, I think it's the aids of Hearthstone, and I don't think they did enough to it. So we can talk about these other ones too. So Murloc War Leader, I'm 100% on board with that change. I still think the card is playable in Murloc decks, but it becomes much weaker now. The attack meaning board clears actually work now, because before board clears didn't really do anything to Murlocs, because once you get that Murloc War Leader on there, any sort of trading deck was just completely stomped because you get too much value trades and stuff. So I love the War Leader change. I think that's a good one. Hex going from 3 to 4 puts it on par now with Polymorph, which I never understood why they had Hex and Polymorph. Polymorph, in theory, giving your opponent a 1/1 is better for your opponent, right? So why would you have a card that costs 1 more? So Hex and Polymorph do almost the same thing, right? The only difference is you get a Taunt and a Frog. But there's 1 mana cost difference between them. And in theory, the Hex is even better. Getting a 0/1 Taunt, yeah, the Taunt is like... Taunt can be valued at like 1 mana. But essentially, the 1/1 is... A 1/1 and a 0/1 Taunt, to me, are about the exact same level, right? So why don't they cost the same thing? They do the same thing. They transform a minion. And one of them gives you a 1/1, one of them gives you a 0/1. To me, that's on par with each other. They're and one of them costed 1 less. So it's just like, hello? And now, what's interesting is, like, Hex isn't even played that heavily right now. Shaman's not played heavily either. But, there's not many people experimenting with Shaman. Hex used to be a 2-of in every Shaman deck. And I don't know why it's not right now, to be honest. I still think it probably could be. But people aren't, streamers aren't playing it, so the sheep don't play it. But I think going from 3 to 4 is fine for this card. I think Hex was a little too strong, especially if you're going to put it on par with Polymorph. So I don't mind the Hex nerf. People are complaining about it, but I think it's fine. It's just kind of weird that they do it now when no one's even playing it. But another one, Fiery War Axe going from 2 to 3 mana. So people are like, why Fiery War Axe? Boo. I was a Control Warrior lover for a little while. Right before Patron came out, I got Golden Warrior, my 2nd class after Handlock. And I loved Control Warrior, just armoring up, like fatigue style. I love that style. Trust me, guys, the nerf from 2 to 3 hurts that deck somewhat, but it hurts Pirate Warrior much more. And Pirate Warrior is really the only one that's played right now. Sure, there are some like N'Zoth Infinite decks out there, but this nerf hurts them less than it hurts the Pirate Warrior, which I'm happy with. I think the Fiery War Axe was just a busted card inherently. And I think making it 3 is much more fair for the game. So I'm fine with the Fire War Axe nerf. And I'm a Control Warrior player. So, it's definitely going to hurt the Pirate Warriors, which I think Pirate Warrior needed to be touched a little bit too. But I think they're missing the boat a little bit with Fiery War Axe, because I still think N'Zoth's First Mate is probably what busts Pirate Warrior the most. I think that weapon should be like a 1/1 weapon maybe. Like N'Zoth's First Mate just gives you way too much, board control for turn 1. Patches being a big problem too, but that weapon being 3 charges with so many upgrades and stuff, it makes you almost have to play weapon removal in your deck just because of pirates. Like, too strong. So Fire War Axe nerf I'm okay with, but I think they should have nerfed like N'Zoth's First Mate or stuff. But I guess they're saying, well, that stuff's gonna rotate out, so they really only changed the cards that are gonna be around for a while, which it doesn't make sense to me. Like, if the game needs balance, just fix it. I don't know why Blizzard is just so against balancing their stuff. Like, make the game even. It can still be fun. There's still RNG, but let's take away the stuff that's just completely not fun to lose to. If there's decks that are winning at much higher rates, there should be something done. So overall, I can't complain too much about the nerfs. At least they're doing something. I don't think it's enough to Druid. I think Druid will still remain top tier, and I think now that these nerfs are happening, I think Priest gets a lot better, because I think Priest was in a close second behind Druid, and now Priest gets really scary. But I'm excited to see some other classes come up now that Druid is getting a little bit of a nerf. I think it will make a difference in the meta. So other than that, we'll see what happens. Overall, that's what I think.